Hello everybody, and welcome to Andrew Broussard Watercolors. Today I'm going to look at various blues. I had a patron on my Patreon account. They asked if I could discuss painting waves in watercolor. Now that's something I'm not really proficient at, but I always ask new patrons or patrons in general if there's anything that they would like me to discuss or explore. So the answer was waves. So the first thing that came to mind was blue, obviously. So I was looking online, waves, and you see people surfing and you have the nice beautiful curls, and it just got me thinking about all the various blues, all the various location for waves, how you can have them super dark, super light. So as a segue into painting waves, so me exploring that, I wanted to explore blues, get ideas from them, see what type of mixes we could get from that. So hopefully this will help kind of get some ideas flowing. And let me know down below, what colors do you prefer to use when you're painting waves? You kind of have your own mixes, your own little recipes. Do you kind of just paint from a photograph? You play around? Do you like bright and cheery, dark and cold? Let me know what you think. So this first is Ultramarine Blue. So this pigment should be the same from company to company. So you'd have different quantities of it and be ground differently. So we're starting with our standard Ultramarine. I do know that some brands will have like a Ultramarine Blue Deep. They might have an Ultramarine Blue Light. I'm not sure what the differences are there, but that's that might be something worth exploring. Let me know again down below what you've encountered with that. So I think originally Ultramarine Blue was Lapis Lazuli. Is that how you pronounce that stone? And it was more expensive than gold, the pigment, but it isn't as light fast as the synthetic, that thing that everybody uses nowadays. I think some brands do produce the original. So I figure we'll put the color out, we'll get some washes going, and I immediately started thinking, because you know that if you follow this channel, I like to paint things dark. Let's get that burnt umber mix in there. If we wanted some darks within that. And wash off the brush. Let's do some Ultramarine Blue. Let's go lemon yellow. Get a little bit of green. Because we could get green within a wave and within water. And we'll even mix in a little bit of raw sienna. This will push us to that dark. It'll warm it up a little bit. Let's see how we're sitting. Oh, let me move this camera up a little bit. There we go. Sorry about that. Okay, so Ultramarine Blue, my go-to on my palette, and whenever I paint waves, that's probably going to be what I'm going to be working with. By the way, pigment information, that's PB29. It's Ultramarine Blue. Next, we're going to look at Cobalt Blue. This is the xeiyu, where it's a synthetic. This is the Cotman brand. It's PW5, which I think is white, and PB29. I'm not sure what PB29 is. Did I just read that off of? Yep. It's the ultramarine pigment plus white. So always look at the pigment information and see if you can find the references across brands. So this is Cobalt Blue. The xeiyu. Cobalt xeiyu. There you go. It does seem bluer. I think the white in it is going to make it a little bit more opaque. Let's try to water it down some. It's going to be really close to the ultramarine because it's essentially that pigment with white in it, like I said. Let's darken this cobalt blue up with burnt umber. And let's push it in another direction with lemon yellow. And it should be very similar. With this, keep in mind that color variety, even though it might be a stark contrast, you could probably get them very close and similar to each other. I'm not doing a whole spectrum of it. We're just doing initial impressions of these. Next, I'm going to go with, let's go with phthalo blue. Reason I'm going with phthalo blue is it's strong pigment. It comes in a lot of sets. It is PB15. So we'll see if PB15 pops up in our other mixtures. You just need a little bit when you grab it. And I didn't write phthalo blue. I feel like I always spell it wrong. Is it PHTHALO? Phthalo. Ooh, kind of dry brushing. Makes you think of waves right there. And if you wanted like a really cool surfing scene, that'd be the way to go. We'll mix burnt umber in to darken it. This is a mixture that I use for trees. That mixture seems very similar to indigo. I'm curious, maybe we'll have to do indigo next. Let's do lemon yellow and the phthalo blue. Very green. I think by simply picking one of these, like ultramarine versus phthalo blue right off the bat, you can really get a different just vibe. I'm going to do a light wash of the phthalo blue just to get it on there. There you go. There's a nice light wash next to that. Okay. So what's next? Cerulean blue. Let's do that. Pigment PB15. So the Cotman cerulean blue. So this is a xeiyu. This is a synthetic. All this is just a formulation of the phthalo. So you're going to find a lot of common pigments as you look amongst your blues. Now, let's clean off a spot for this. I think sometimes the cerulean will have a mixture of the white in it as well, kind of like the cobalt. Cerulean U. That'd make for some nice water. Any other information on this? No? Nothing else. Let's go thick. There we go. Light wash. Mix some burnt umber. I'm just mixing the dark just for the shadow aspect of the wave. And then we'll see mixed with lemon yellow. And this may also help you realize that you don't need a lot of different blues on a palette. But so far, this is definitely the biggest difference than the originals that we've been looking at so far. Next, let's see. We did Cobalt. We did our phthalo. Cerulean. I think I want to try the indigo. Mainly because this mixture for some reason made me think of indigo, but I haven't used it in a while, so I may be thinking completely off. Different brands are going to have different pigments for indigo, so that's something to really pay attention to. And that and Payne's Gray have like huge differences from brand to brand, as well as sap green. Some other colors, you'll find a big difference across it. This guy is PB27, which is Prussian blue, and it says that on here, and PV19, quinacridone violet. So way to go, Da Vinci brand, for not just having the synthetic, the pigment number there, but actually having the name of it for the indigo. So thank you for doing that. In the comments, somebody the other day was talking about how much they love Da Vinci brand, and it really is a fantastic brand. You hear that, Da Vinci brand? Hint, hint. Okay, so this is mixing a little bit of water in, and let's try our burnt umber in the indigo. It just, for me, visually, it's just very similar. Let's lighten it up with some lemon yellow. Just using a wet rag to wipe everything off. Don't have much water going. Okay, so we have indigo, which we said had Prussian blue in this one. So let's look at the Prussian blue. So this is PB, it should be 27. Yeah, PB 27 is Prussian blue. I'm running out of room. Let's make sure we're all on the screen. Yep, we are. We'll play with this guy. I think Prussian blue used to be like super common on palettes. I don't know what replaced it. Maybe the phthalo? I'm not sure. I believe I was watching one oil painter that gradiated the sky from ultramarine blue to Prussian blue, and it was really nice. So that's your Prussian blue, which is very similar to the cerulean for me, and the cerulean was the phthalo, I guess just formulated a little differently. Okay, that's it. Water. I think back in the day, Prussian blue, if it put it in a dark place, the painting, it would darken. And if it was put in a light place, it would lighten up. Like it would actually, like over time, change like that. So let's see. Try to get some lemon yellow with this Prussian blue. There we go. Not the best mixing, but I'll give you a little bit of idea. Now I put out Payne's Gray because it has blue in it. So let's go Payne's Gray over here. That's one of the cats, of course. Payne's Gray. I think I'm going to start these videos off. Welcome to Andrew Broussard Watercolors, and that's one of the cats. That's how I'm just going to do it at this point. So the reason I threw Payne's Gray into this mix is because it's PBK 6, nearly pure amorphous carbon. So it's black with PB27 ferrocyanide blue. Just totally butchered that. And PB27. So this has Prussian blue in it. So it's black and Prussian blue. I think different brands do a different Payne's Gray, so you know, that's something to keep in mind. I don't know if there's really need to mix it with a dark to darken it, but you can do that. The burnt umber. And because of the blue, we could do the lemon yellow and get a little bit of greenish aspect to it. Oh, I had a lot of that on there. There you go. Okay, now the last one I have doesn't show up often in the student grade lines, and some of the high grade lines don't have it. Pronunciation wise, I'm not the best at it. I'm going to try Indanthren. It sounds very Lord of the Ringy. Indanthren Blue. That's PB60. So that hasn't popped up yet anywhere else. I don't think a student line has that in it, like I said, and you want to check and see if other lines have that. I had picked this up because of handprint.com. They were suggesting a kind of more classical watercolor palette. So if you were to kind of go in 17 1800s, I think that's kind of what they recommended or had. And then Posey Gaines, who is a fantastic watercolorist and artist, also uses that in his painting, so that kind of piqued my interest again in it. Hey, Percy. All right, let's get a little wash of it. That'd be so beautiful for a sky. I want to mix some burnt umber in that. Percy, you want to say hi to everybody or no? Let's do some lemon yellow. She found a toy. And my water's kind of getting a little very contaminated at this point, so we'll try and mix with that. And there we go, the little lemon yellow. So, kind of to wrap it all up, once again, the whole point of this video was, it was stemming from a patron asking about painting waves, which, like I had said, something I haven't really done much of or explored. So it naturally led towards blues and the idea of blues. How well this comes across on the screen and the variations in the blues, I'm not sure. It may help you realize that maybe you don't need a ton of different blues for the experiment. Whenever we do paint our waves, we can kind of just pick a blue to play with, and then from there play with tonal values and textures. I think whatever technique we used for waves, if we used Payne's Gray, would be just as valid as using indigo or Prussian blue or phthalo. So they're just going to give a feel, a different type of vibe to it, where the phthalo blue, so bright, the cerulean so bright, that gives you the idea of the Hawaiian feel, the Caribbean feel, while something like the Indanthren might give you a mid-Atlantic feel. Payne's Gray, a darker feel. So picking the palette and those lines will help you choose those, make those decisions to get that to it. So in the next video in the kind of wave series will be tonal values and textures. So let me do some research on that, get some ideas, and I'll be back. I hope this was helpful. Let me know in the comments down below what you think, what I could clarify, or if you have anything that you can suggest me looking into. On that note, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.